guess we just have to say hello to everyone.
Hi.
Hi there, we're Mike.
And Eve.
In this video we want to do it a little bit different, where because we're not such great vloggers and live to the camera talkers, we have a little teleprompter right there next to the camera. So you're going to, throughout most of the video, you're just going to see us in a little window in the corner here or there. And we're just going to read everything we have to say. We have a lot to cover over the next 20 minutes. So we're just going to keep it short here. And we will talk over the video that you're going to watch. Yeah? Okay, so here goes. After a very exciting time in Curacao, where we were diving, hiking, trying local food, and learning about the local culture, we got on a small plane that took us to another Caribbean island.
This time, Aruba would be our temporary home. The plane was so small that the maximum number of passengers was 19, and the second captain greeted everyone getting on the plane while giving us a hand sanitizer spray. You could actually see all the action happening in the cockpit during the flight, including one moment where they were holding hands while speeding up. Perhaps one of them was still a student and the captain had to do that. Who knows?
As expected, it was a bit shaky, there was no air conditioning or toilet, and there were no advertisements from loudspeakers about what great drinks and sandwiches they have on offer today. The view from the top stretched over Curacao, to which we were just saying goodbye to, was absolutely worth it. It was very interesting to see the island of Curacao from above and recognize the places we had been to a few days earlier. After landing in Aruba, we looked for a SIM card. This one, however, turned out to be twice as expensive as Curacao, where it cost over $50 for 8 gigabytes a month. We left without a SIM card, since we knew that we would spend part of the time editing the video, which took 6 days in the end, and we will cover the rest on downloaded GPS maps. The time difference made posting live on Instagram out of par with most of our viewers in Europe anyway.
Aruba is a small enough island to visit in less than a week, but large enough to contain everything a holiday island should have. When we think of Aruba, the perfect beaches, the crystal clear water comes first, with plenty of activity just around the corner for the adventurous ones.
80% of tourists coming to the island are from the US. Aruba boasts the highest number of those who visit the island repeatedly. Some have come every year for 30 years. As a result of all this, there are 2 terminals at the airport departures to the US and all the rest.
Find out what makes Aruba the one happy island. We spent almost 3 weeks there, and so we invite you to discover with us the recipe for Caribbean happiness under the banner of I Love Aruba.
The first thing you notice when you arrive in Aruba are its heavenly clean beaches and blue water. There's a lot to choose from, because for the 110 square miles, which is a size similar to the state of Missouri, the island has 40 beaches that are perfect for swimming, snorkeling, sunbathing, and windsurfing.
The beaches are public and all you can pay is renting sun loungers, huts, and buying drinks in the local hotel.
Palm Beach is a luxury spot in the Caribbean. Top-class all-inclusive hotels, casinos, piers, beach bars, restaurants, and shops. Every few steps there are water sports centers, so not only those who like sunbathing will find their place there.
Palm Beach is a favorite destination for tourists. Just stroll along the beach in the reflection of the setting sun and contemplate on your heavenly vacation. During our stay, someone decided to steal a jet ski and race with 2 police boats and a helicopter in the dark.
In the end, after 3 hours, the hero of GTA game in real life was captured, and we breathed a sigh of relief, learning that it wasn't a way to enforce the 7 p.m. COVID curfew on beachgoers. The most beautiful beach we have seen so far is Eagle Beach. Pristine, soft sand makes every evening walk along the water a perfect end to the day. This beach, the widest in Aruba, is home to the most photographed DVD trees on the island. They are part of numerous advertising campaigns, and bikini pictures by its branches are a must-do on every tourist's list. Candlelit dinner on the beach during sunset with live music, a dream worth fulfilling. And for those who like to enjoy the benefits of the world but in a slightly different way, we encourage you to go for a swim in the evening with candlelight and music in the background. The same experience but less expensive and does not necessarily require clothes. Now that we've mentioned both of the beaches we spent so much time on, which is Eagle Beach and Palm Beach, I'd like to invite you all to our sister channel called Audio Travels, where we've posted half-hour long walks through both of the beaches, the length of both of the beaches, where you can admire the sunsets, the sand, the people on them, and the hotels on Palm Beach. So that's Audio Travels.
On the south of the island, you will find Baby Beach, about 40 minutes drive from Eagle Beach. The name comes from the very calm and shallow water that is safe for children and those who are just learning to swim. This beach is loved by locals, especially on the weekend. It's here where you can meet multi-generation families who will always find an excuse to celebrate together.
The Big Mama's Grill is located on the beach, offering grilled food, refreshing cocktails, and ice cream. Numerous beach huts dotted along the beach provide relief from the Caribbean heat. However, it is worth remembering that with darkness, quite a lot of hungry mosquitoes come out, and since we're the type to stay in a cinema for the end credits, our bodies quickly became covered with bubbles.
Island yoga. This was my dream come true and the main reason why we are in Aruba. Island Yoga is a yoga studio founded by Swedish yogi Rachel Brathen, known as Yoga Girl. She has published 2 books, runs a podcast, trains future yoga teachers, but also her activity goes much further than practicing yoga. She is a founder of 2 non-profit organizations in Aruba, Sgt. Pepper and Friends, which is an animal shelter named after her beloved dog, and the Yoga Girl Foundation, which supports women and children suffering from trauma, violence, poverty, and injustice.
Shala, the room where the classes are held, introduces the atmosphere of concentration and reflection. Slightly dim lights, music, open door to the garden, Caribbean heat creeping in, a teacher who welcomes everyone like a long-lost friend. Practicing yoga in the studio is pure pleasure. Here I'd like to also add that that is the place where I've tried practicing yoga for the first time. The setting was very conducive to do it properly, not only the figures that are there to be done, but also to relax mentally and couple it up with how relaxed the body can be. And I had quite a deep experience, which I'd like to recommend to everyone, regardless of their gender. Next to the studio, you'll find a vegan cafe that serves the most delicious, fluffy pancakes and cappuccino with coconut milk.
In addition, there is a shop with yoga clothes and accessories, everything under the Yoga Girl brand.
On Aruba's rugged, desert-like northeastern coast sits a remnant of the island's once bustling gold mining industry, the Bushiribana Gold Mill ruins. Built in the late 19th century, the mill harnessed the power of strong ocean winds to crush stone and isolate gold ore. A smelter on site processed the ore into fine gold, which was driven to a nearby harbor for export. After over a century of vacant buildings, only natural stone walls have remained. Visitors to the ruins are free to walk the abandoned structure and carefully climb the remains of the stairs on the south wall of the mill for stunning views of the Caribbean. The Bushiribana Gold Mill ruins are a frequent stop on numerous off-road vehicle excursions along the northeast coast of Aruba. And right next to them is the perfect place for jumping into water for those brave enough. This time, we chose not to try our luck.
Ayo and Casibari Rock formations. Dramatic boulders and puzzling rock formations can be found all over the island. Sometimes they occupy part of someone's garden. Other times they are found next to the road. Their size is surprising. Some of the more impressive sites has been dedicated to visitors. There are many rock formations on the island. Today we visited two of them. You can see Ayo, which is one of the big ones, and the second one that we have seen today is Casibari. Narrow and sometimes steep paths lead through and to the top of the hill. The view from the peak is delightful. You can see the entire panorama of Aruba from the top of Casibari, and on a clear and sunny day, you can even see Venezuela.
The Arawak Indians who once inhabited the island were so intimidated by these rock formations that some of them were considered sacred places. Their ancient drawings on the rocks have been preserved and are available to view. We thought we were going to spend 10 minutes there, and it turned out that the desert location of these formations, lots of cacti, interesting vegetation, lizards that inhabit the area, and silence made us spend an hour in each of these rock formations.
It is best to go early in the morning or late afternoon to escape the heat, which unfortunately we did not avoid. Zeerover, legendary bar and restaurant in a fishing town.
So to take a break before the donkey sanctuary, but after the rock formations, we just had to take a break. We did a little detour and we went to Zeerover, which is this restaurant that Eve found recommended online by one of the YouTubers. I'll link to that video in the description. So you pull up, there's a queue, you first say what you want and they show you the pieces of fish. They bag it, they weigh it, and then you go to the next till to pay, and then the next window to get your drinks, and only then you come here to sit down. I gotta say we were quite lucky because it seemed like it was a bit last minute to actually come at a time when it's possible to actually grab a table. The menu isn't massive. You basically just come up and say whether you want fish or shrimp or both, and fries and plantain. So it's catch of the day, whatever they have. The place certainly feels very local. We are definitely surrounded by locals. If you ever need proof that a restaurant is good, you just have to take a look whether it's packed or not. So this is the place to come. So we may not know what fish we got. We absolutely have no idea. It wasn't written anywhere. But yeah, it's really well fried and tastes great. And the fries are amazing. They go really well with the sauce that they gave us, this spicy. Papaya hot delight. Really cool. Aruban spicy sauce papaya apparently. And they say it's mild. No, it's not mild.
What an experience to see the fishermen come to the restaurant with freshly caught fish, not far from the restaurant area. Mike spent some time in their company, and it seems that each family member is involved in some way and helps run the restaurant business, including the new generation who learns the fishing trade from an early age hands-on.
Donkey Sanctuary. What an experience this was. A place that surprises with its size and how much interest people get from donkeys. Entry is free, but it is recommended to bring some treats or buy donkeys' favorite food from the local shop.
So this is a happy place for donkeys. We are at the moment in the donkey sanctuary. They are a little bit excited because there is a lady who just gave them a little bit of food. So they hope that there is gonna be more.
If you want to help with morning chores at the sanctuary, such as feeding and cleaning, then come early in the morning and volunteers will share their daily chores with you.
Donkey.
There are 118 very happy donkeys in the sanctuary. You see, they have been used as a form of transportation. But from 70s, when the cars replaced them, well, they have to find their perfect house. And I guess they just did. National Park. Part of Aruba in the national park is only accessible by a four-wheel drive car. Our car rental company asked very politely and repeatedly to not risk damaging the small car we rented and to go to the part intended only for the type of car we have. It turned out very quickly that they were right. The drainage channels lined with stones are so deep that the maximum speed that could be traveled was 3 miles per hour.
To fully experience the island, you can rent an off-road vehicle or join one of the many tours that offer various destinations in Aruba, be it on using a self-driven buggy or on board an open 4x4 minibus.
Boca Prins, advertised as an example of pure nature, pristine white sand dunes and a magnificent ocean on a secluded beach. Situated along the northeast coast of Aruba, Arikok National Park. This secluded beach would be the perfect example of the iconic scenery of Aruba's northern coast.
It would be if it were not for the trash that accumulates on the beach with each high tide. Similarly to Curacao, this place also suffers from plastic accumulating on some east-facing beaches. And it's a huge pity since the beach is really beautiful, and with the surrounding cliffs, the view is amazing. Were it not for the blistering heat and trash, we could stand on the shore for hours and watch the waves majestically hit the shore of the bay.
And so we went further to see Fontain Cave, which is only a few minutes away from Boca Prins. As with the Ayo rock formation, this cave also has ancient dark red and brown drawings. The entire cave is filled with stalagmites and stalactites that have developed over the years. The oldest ones here are about 100 years old.
The inhabitants of the cave are bats who live in its deeper part, not usually visited by tourists. They leave the cave when the sun goes down. Have you seen the bear tracks?
Huh?
Have you seen the bear tracks?
Yeah.
I'm joking.
In here?
I'm joking.
Oh.
Mike felt particularly brave that day and went to meet them in a slightly deeper part of the cave.
If after spending some time in the cave you want to have a close encounter with fish, then next to the cave is a fish reservoir worth visiting.
Locals call these Fishies Kisses.
Yeah, and that's how it feels like. No! This was just hilarious, I gotta say. I've never felt anything like this. It's like little kisses by fishies, and apparently it's a type of tilapia fish, so I've never seen a fish with a foot fetish, but now I have. Alto Vista Chapel. High on a hill overlooking Aruba rises the charming yellow chapel of Alto Vista. It is often lit by dozens of candles that create its unique atmosphere. Everyone is welcome to enjoy the peaceful place. Few things in the surrounding landscape disturb the views of the island and the sea. Only cacti and shrubs stick out of the sand.
Alto Vista, often called Pilgrim's Church, is at the end of the long, winding road. The access route is marked by white crosses. It is mysterious, but at the same time blissful and peaceful, at least until several dozen vehicles get there at the same time. We arrived at this chapel very early in the morning. It was peaceful and quiet. And just a few minutes later...
Yeah, a whole bunch of ATVs came over, probably 20 vehicles. People spilled out, did their dances to the songs of their guides, surrounded the church, got in, got out, took some photos, and disappeared as quickly as they came in. It's a beautiful place, worth visiting. You might just need to wait a little if you want it to be peaceful and quiet.
Aruba is a beautiful Caribbean island prepared for tourists. No wonder so many Americans have chosen it as their home after retirement and compare it to Florida. We wouldn't mind staying here for longer, but our Indonesian entry visa were about to expire.
We prepared all the paperwork, printed it at a nearby printing house, and went on a more than 30-hour journey to the other side of the planet. On the way, we saw suburbs of New York, the outline of Manhattan, sand dunes of the desert on the way to Doha Airport, where we had a transfer, to finally land in Jakarta. This is where we were to spend 5 days in quarantine before we could go to our final destination, Bali. More about that soon here on Mike and Eve, and in the meantime you can follow our actions on Instagram, link to which you'll find in the video description. You can also subscribe to us here on YouTube and our sister channel Audio Travels, where you will find both the Palm Beach and Eagle Beach videos. I'd also like to invite you to watch a short documentary on people from Petamburan Street, which was filmed from a window during our 5-day quarantine. And that video is on Audio Travels. So hope you spent some good time with us, and take care.
See you next time.